guess I'm here to send out the bat signal.
A bat signal, for listeners who might not know, refers to the children's character, the Bat Man, a strong gentleman who fights crime nocturnally.
That's correct. Well put.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday. This is going to be a spoiler review of Black Adam starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the return of somebody. Somebody has returned.
So handsome.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it all. But before we do, we got to introduce the panel. But before even that, I'm going to tell you once again that this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen Black Adam, come back and watch this review when you're finished watching it. Or if you don't care about spoilers and you just want it spoiled for you because you don't give an F about any more superhero movies, you just want to know what's going on, this is the place to be. We're going to be talking all of it. The good, bad, the ugly, the hotness. God.
You can't stop. I mean, the guy is a good looking man. I mean,
he's so good.
I hate him.
Good. But before we get into all that, Scott is here. What's going on, Scott?
Not much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, Scott, Sporky News Podcast. I am on YouTube, which, what do you say? The channel is under attack. I'm demonetized, but still would love subs. Trying to get to 4,000, and but I am also on Rumble, and I would love people to support me over there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this. I was pleasantly surprised, I guess.
Yeah, me too. I was a little pleasantly surprised. But we also have Script Doctor, and also before you go, Script Doctor, Scott's Rumble link and everybody's links are in the description. You want to get that. And we have a Canadian tonight with us, joining us. Hi, sir. You have a beard. Hi.
Yeah.
How's it going, eh?
Hey.
Are you back to the Coof beard?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Cold. It's cold now. That's why it's grown.
That makes sense.
It's getting cold here. We're in the single digits.
They usually do that in hockey too. And hockey time, you grow your beard. Yeah. Especially if your team's going to the playoffs. It's like hockey a playoff players. Beard.
Men. Those guys are men.
How are you, Script Doctor? You good?
Yeah, I'm staying warm. Doing lots of writing, and very happy some of my colleagues took me to see Black Adam in a private screening yesterday morning.
Oh, la-di-da.
Oh, they took you? That's so cute.
Well, we kind of have this underground thing for if you have to show medical ID to get into a movie. We don't like that, right. So we have a network now.
That's right, because Canada is still fascist. Gotcha. Well, you're here, and I'm so happy that you are. I heard you have like 9 pages of notes. That's insane.
I have 3 pages of notes.
Oh, 3. Okay, that was me. That was me being a woman and exaggerating what you just told me. But okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start first. I thought this movie was pretty average. Like I thought like it was good. But like I will say my initial reaction to it is that I feel like because there's been so much absolute garbage being put out by Marvel that in comparison, Black Adam is like great. It's like a great superhero movie compared to the absolute rubbish that Marvel's been putting out. So that's kind of how I felt about it. I also felt like it was a bit extra. Like at parts, I was like, oh my God, like, can you slow down just a little bit? Like I felt like it was kind of like the Transformers. It just wouldn't stop. It just go. And I'm like, bro, like, I feel like I'm old. Like, calm down. Yeah. Like, I need a minute to catch up. But other than that, those other things I felt about it, which we'll get into as we talk in the conversation. But overall, I enjoyed it. Like, it was a good popcorn flick. It was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't make me want to slit my wrist afterwards.
Right. Didn't have the message, like.
Yeah, it didn't have the message. It wasn't like super woke or anything. Right. It was like literally in a fake city in the DC universe. Like I didn't feel like there was like woke stuff. So
You know, and that's funny because even though they were talking about an oppressed people, you know, it didn't feel like that was the message. Like,
yeah,
that was one thing I liked about it. Like, yes, it was part of the story, but it wasn't the story. Even though it was a character almost in the story, I liked it. It was very, you could tell. Okay, so like next to Ryan Reynolds, you know, trying to get Deadpool made, this has been like, you know, The Rock's Dwayne Johnson has been trying to do this for I don't know how many years, but it feels like forever. And
6 years on this film, 15 years overall.
Okay,
wow,
so, yeah,
that's a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been forever, and he can't ever just play the bad guy because Black Adam does. He's more like I don't know what you would call it. Not the what do you call a hero that's like
an
so
anti-hero?
Right. He's an anti-villain. So like yes, he's a villain, but he's not like a true villain. Like he just
like an
doesn't put up
anti-hero.
with
Like
shit.
he's not
at least not since the New 52 came out was he considered a he's been a villain since before the New 52. When the New 52 came, he's no longer a villain. He's now kind of good.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But that's what they've done with so many comics. It's like, look at what we did 5 years ago. But I think what is important to watch when you're watching this movie is they leaned heavily into, and not completely, but heavily into like Zack Snyder special effects. The way he floats like Superman floats, the way they like did some slow motion and stuff.
Not as much as Zack Snyder,
No,
though, man.
no,
that
no.
was all slow mo. This was way more fast paced than slow pace. It was
But even like
oh my god,
his speed when he moved at the beginning between people, it looked like Superman. So or Wonder Woman even. So
yeah.
It was very cartoony.
It was like, oh, he's
That's
like
okay.
in one place and then it's like he's in another, and you're like, oh,
Like animated movie cartoony, not like silly cartoony. That I don't want people to conflate that.
right.
right.
I will state one more thing. I am this is a very normie review for me because I am not familiar with the Black Adam character. Like I have no idea. I'm more familiar with Marvel stuff. DC I'm not very familiar with. Like obviously I know the main people: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Joker, all that, all that stuff. But I don't know the other characters, and this was new for me. So this was my introduction to the Black Adam universe, and I thought it was good. It was a good origin story.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all right. So what about you, Script Doctor? What would you think?
I was pulled out of this movie with the opening child narration. And I actually wanted to go in liking this because I heard good things from Andre. I heard good things from Arum. Other people were giving us some stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And also, I enjoy most of the Rock films that he's made. I think they're usually pretty fun, and they always have some sort of aspect to them that's very enjoyable. But I was pulled out because it was front loaded with an exposition dump, and then we get jumped 5,000 years to the present ish. But we've got flying cycles. And we have a person we don't meet, and instead of us seeing who she is, we're being told by the people in the car with her who she is, which bothered the hell out of me. And then we have the kid who is a good actor, but he's clearly trying to play a John Connor type to Terminator's The Rock version thing.
I thought he was doing like the Shazam thing because he remind me exactly of the Shazam kid. I was like, is that the same guy? Like,
and I had the same issues with him. I couldn't tell, is this kid 12, 14, or 16? Because those are three significant ages for a
big
boy.
Difference. Yeah.
And they're big differences there. I could not nail it down. And then I kept on trying to like get myself back into it. I loved Black Adam's entrance, like the way he entered into the movie and we got to see him. I'm like, oh, that's great.
He was crazy. I liked it.
And then for when the JSA comes in, they're sitting in the back of limousines. And I'm like, that's how you're going to introduce us to these characters, sitting down in the back of a car.
Yeah.
And then I was just lost because I wanted to enjoy this. And I saw all these cool little seeds of ideas. And I'm thinking, oh, I hope they explore that more. Oh, I hope they explore that more. And they don't. And I'm just sitting back and I realized, and a lot of my colleagues, like one of my colleagues in theater was like, they shot the first draft. Like, that's exactly what happened. They wrote one draft of the script and they shot it. And I'm like, yeah, that makes all the sense, because we were all pretty gung-ho for this. We wanted to see this be like the first step towards a better direction for DC films. And we were just all like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock was good. I think The Rock
Pierce
actually
Brosnan?
stretched his acting chops here.
You think so? Because I thought The Rock was The Rock. Like, I didn't feel any different from him from, like, you know, when he made Jumanji, or when he made
the Scorpion King.
Yeah, or like the building one where he's
Yeah.
climbing the building. Like, I thought he was just The Rock. Like, I was
But
like,
he doesn't need to be any different, really. Like, they didn't call for emotion, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be this cold weirdo, so he kind of
Which doesn't make sense when you find out the reveal of the relationship, because it basically comes to me, whereas the writers of this film, and maybe even the director, had never lost any family members in their life.
Right.
And they don't even explore that, even with the discombobulation of him jumping 5,000 years into the future. I mean, these are all really good story mechanics.
Yep.
And I think what hurt this film is the fact that they had an element here where they could have said, hey, let's play an homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark, because that's basically what this could have been. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it could have been the same runtime too.
Scorpion King too.
But instead, they bogged it down with too many extra things. They abandoned various parties and then swapped them out for another party, and then you're like, well, what happened to the other party, and why are these two not working together, and why are these two not caught in the middle? It was just very confusing.
Yeah.
But you are right; it's really fast paced. Like, it's a roller coaster, and I can totally see people getting lost in that. I even think most audiences will love the action that's going on. But for me,
I didn't think it was a roller coaster at all, because for me,
I mean,
it was
pacing wise, not in actually like entertainment.
I mean, even for pacing, like, for me, it was like, okay, like, it was good. Like, I thought it was a steady pace at the beginning, because it's telling you the story. Like, you're like, okay, yeah, like, I'm feeling this. It's going. I love that part where, like, the dude, like, just stabs that guy, just push him off the fucking cliff. I'm like, okay, that's DC right there. Like, I was like, okay, we're not in Marvel, we're in DC. This
definitely
world is
brutal.
dark. This is brutal shit. Like, I'm ready for a good movie. So, like, that, you know, it was good. It was a good pace of where, like, they're introducing what's going on, where you're at, the setting and everything. And then Black Adam shows up, and then it's just upwards. There is not one moment where I was like, okay, I'm chilling now. Like, okay, I'm kind of, it was just one thing after another, like, fighting wise. And I was like,
and that kid skateboarding on the landing between the stairs, that was the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Skateboard from one part of the stairs to the other, get off, walk down, skateboard to the next part, get off. I'm like, dude.
He was doing some parkour shit. I was like,
it reminds me of the bags of chips scene from The Room, where she pulls out bags of chips and they're crunkly, so they can't speak, so they have to wait until they put it down before they say their line again. And it's the most awkwardly done thing ever. And this is the same thing where the kids just,
I don't remember that.
I'm trying to teach Black Adam to do a catchphrase, because I think that's what heroes do. And he's just floating down the stairs and all cool, like, and the kid's just doing his thing with the stupid skateboard. And I'm like, just walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
Just walk down the stairs.
There was like 75, you know, like armed men in that stairwell before, you know.
Well, later on he's just like, oh, I'm just going to use my skateboard as a weapon, as a guide to go down this clothesline, which that must be really well secured into that building, because clotheslines are snap pretty easily.
I think you're right. Like, I don't think it was like a straight boom, but there was very short lulls in the action, like you're saying. Like, there was very tiny, and like when they did show like moments where The Rock flashback was screaming, crying for his child, like his wife being killed. Like, I wish they gave us more of that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Me
Rock.
too.
And I wanted more from The Rock when that happened. Like, I was like, okay,
but it's
like,
so quick.
But I mean, like, acting wise, like, I wanted, like, your son just died. Like, I wanted like more.
I wanted him to look at the modern Kondak and be like, before I was imprisoned, all I had lost is my son and wife. Now that I'm here, I've lost my home as well.
Everything.
That would have been awesome. But he's just like, Kondak is gone. And I'm like, dude, you're not acting like a dad. You're not acting like a guy who could convince other people or fool other people that you were the champion. You have no agency. You're just literally doing what this little kid tells you to do.
It was kind of weird too, because it would have made a little bit more sense if he was kind of listening to the mom more, because she's the one that set him free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like that, him listening to everything that she would say like would make sense, not the kid, you know?
Right.
I don't know, because I was like,
It was-
No, you're very right, because they do that exposition at the beginning where she's wearing a necklace and it's made of eternium, and they're like, you could sell that on the black market for like thousands of dollars, like it's a family heirloom. And that's, I guess, the binary aspect that allowed her to free him, because anyone could say the words, but you have to be wearing the
right.
You have to have a piece of that eternium to do it.
Yeah.
And what I found hysterical is that Intergang, which is for DC fans, is a huge problem worldwide. In fact, all authorities are trying to nail them for crimes. Has taken over a city and is mining eternium and is using it in their weapons and in their flying bicycles or whatever they are. And the whole plot of the plot point is that Intergang wants the crown of Sabak, which is made of eternium.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, if they're able to mine eternium, why don't they just make another crown? Because it will say it's lost, say they'll never find it. But they have all this eternium to power up their weapons, power their vehicles.
They can make another
crown.
one.
It was made 5,000 years ago, and we find towards the end.
Magic was put into it, wasn't it?
We find towards the end that the guy who wants it is a descendant of the person who made it originally and knows all about it.
Did any of you catch he was the same guy playing
Not the same guy. He's just a descendant.
No. The actor played both roles as the king from.
Oh, he did. I
didn't catch that till after.
I didn't catch that. No, I didn't know.
But like, I'm thinking, well, okay, I was positing, okay, if you have to have this crown, you have to prove that you've tried alternatives to succeed your goal. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't they just make a crown and he puts it on, or someone else puts it on and it doesn't work, and they realize, the magic that we imbued at this point isn't as strong as what was the original one. We need to find the original one, because right now it's a very convoluted plot.
Right.
It's incredibly convoluted. The very mineral that makes the bad thing that you're terrified of is being mined ad nauseum from the bad guys. It's like
I just answered your
just
question.
Make your own damn crown.
I was like, no, it wouldn't work this. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like they didn't even give
That's why we called it a first draft, because it's like, it's just, we've got the function of the idea. Great. Now you have to prove to us why this is important. It's like the Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Yeah.
They want the Ark because it's a weapon, and they're digging in the wrong spot. But if they didn't have Indy to be there, they would have found it eventually. Like there's this ticking clock aspect to it. They're looking for this because the Hitler is looking for stuff of the occult for whatever reasons he has, and the United States doesn't want him to get it. Neither do the Allies, because the U.S. isn't in the war at that point. So you have this back and forth, and I'm thinking that's what you could have done here. Far more homage wise, but instead they just ignore it altogether. And unfortunately, what also disappointed me, because I was expecting something more intricate, was Adriana, who's the main mom that we're following.
She's hot.
She may have had difficulty finding the location of the crown. But walking inside and getting it was so effortless in comparison. I figured there would have been security, some sort of booby trap.
There was no booby traps or anything. Like I was expecting a lot more booby traps and stuff like that. It's like she's just like walking in there and then she's like, oh yeah, like it says it's like right here, and then like just go this way. It's to the left.
It's a prison
like,
and temple that's built by the wizards that created Shazam. You'd think there'd be some safeguards. And then when and then I kind of knew right off the bat that Ishmael was the bad guy when he's there by himself. And then I'm thinking, oh god, is he going to be the dumb bad guy where he's going to attack her before she gets the crown, or is he going to be the smart bad guy and just keep everybody away so that they can get away and then ambush her later? And unfortunately, he was the dumb bad guy.
So also, I realized he was the bad guy when she was showing the heirloom, and he was like, he looked at it like,
oh yeah, like
I was like, this dude's bad. Yeah,
no, like
he's too quiet.
It was the moment, I knew the moment, like she turned around and he was the only one there, like he was the only one left. And they had him in like this really evil glow. And I was like, oh, he's a bad guy. Like,
can
like,
I also ask another question? Like at that very first scene where they're in the van, I thought they had him at gunpoint, making them bring him over the like the checkpoint, the the brother, the electrician, the two guys sitting next to him, because they show the one guy with a gun like this. I was like, oh, they're forcing this guy to push him over. Like, I didn't realize they were all working together till after.
It took a moment for me to recognize that. I did like the brother, the uncle character.
Oh, yeah,
I
me
thought he
too.
was cool.
I like the uncle too.
Singing
Yeah.
and stuff.
Hi,
Hey, Jane.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
I made it.
You made it. It's okay. Do you
Jane,
want
take over.
before you get
Valor
into it, if you want to tell everyone who you are and where they can find you, and then you can tell us how you felt about the movie.
Yeah, I'm Jane Theory. You can find me here on YouTube. I post movie and TV reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory. And as far as my thoughts, it was good. It was good. Like, I don't have any real major issues with it.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, I was just like, my only issue was like, can we calm down for like 2 seconds? Like, I need to breathe.
I
But
felt the beginning
I'm
was a
old.
little slow, but
See,
I
I
didn't
didn't
need
think
so
so.
much.
I was like okay with the beginning pace, and then it was just like, damn. Like, I was like, holy shit. And then it doesn't. You know, the part that I had a problem with was when he battles Hawk Dude. I know I'm gonna call him Hawk Dude. Okay, I'm gonna
Go
make
for
up
it.
my own names, you guys. I'm sorry, I don't know these
No,
people's
he was
names.
so poorly defined. I felt sorry for the actor.
The actor was good though. I really
Honestly,
liked
it's
the
very
actor.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So when the second time, oh, you're muted. You're muted. Okay.
He knows for sure.
The
I do it
sec-
so I don't talk over you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's totally fine. Okay. The second time he battles Hawk Dude in the apartment or wherever they were, that's when I was like, okay, like they've already fought. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need this again. Like, can we just
There was
let's
just
go.
too much of it was a fight amongst the good guys
Mm-hmm.
to sway him or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like the actual antagonist or whoever was supposed to be the actual villain
Got lost.
got lost in it. Yeah.
They did, because I thought, okay, they're trying to Iron Man Hawkman, which I didn't dig. I thought that the rotating mace was ridiculous because that's not going to work the way you think it is when you hit somebody.
Yeah.
But I dug the actor, but I was thinking, okay, so you have this really lame introduction of your JSA, which is, again, you have Pippi Longstockings playing Cyclone.
I didn't know any of these people, so this was like the
I
first
liked
time
her,
I'm
though.
meeting all of these people.
Yeah,
She
I
was the
like,
only one I liked.
I liked
Really?
her too, but
Yeah.
they were getting they had a love story involved. They had
she's
like
the only one I disliked. I was like,
Really?
yeah, I was like, this
I didn't
girl,
like her
like,
or Atom Smasher because they were so inconsequential to the story. They contributed nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
like, I was
Atom
like,
Smasher was a complete joke.
I feel like they
Yes.
just threw them in. Like we
And
have
Henry
to have.
Winkler literally phones in his performance.
Yeah,
What?
he did. He did. Fonz. The Fonz
Fonz
phoned
literally
it. That was
phones in
so
his
dumb.
performance.
oh
I
my
did-
god.
I did like the concept, even though they didn't execute it well. I like the concept of the sort of next generation
Yeah.
being
too.
mentored by the older ones. I did like that as a strategy, as opposed to what we've been seeing.
Yep.
But
There was just
yeah,
no
they
mentoring.
weren't developed very much. Yeah.
Well, let me ask a question, because that's what I feel like the DC keeps making the same mistake. They rush into it.
Yes.
Like you're
Yep.
just throwing characters. Okay, now we got the JSA. Like why do we have to shove so many things into one? Like they could have like had a
They're
battle with.
afraid.
Well, what they could have done is have a battle with him, decide, okay, he's going to protect this land, and then they're out of the story for the most
Well,
part.
and this is what I had a problem with it. Like what you guys are saying, like we didn't really have a background on any of these people. So like me as a normie, I don't know any of these people. Like I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you. I knew Hawkman because of the Legends of Tomorrow from from the I knew him, but I don't know the comics. So I was like, oh, I know him. Like I know his story, so I connected to him more because I knew his story. But the other, like the wizard dude, Pierce Brosnan's
Fate,
character, yeah, Dr. Fate. Like I didn't know who he was. So like when he gave his, well, again, spoiler alert, people, when he gave his life to save everybody or whatever, I was like, I don't care. Like I didn't care about that. Like when Hawkman was like, oh my god, like he's just like trying to smash the barrier and he's like all upset his friend's gonna die. I was like, at least give me like a scene between these two characters of like, because he was like, he did everything for me. And I was like, I would have really liked to see how
Yeah.
he did everything for you.
It's like we
Can
missed
I-
a movie. There should have been
Yeah.
a movie with
Yeah.
just them and then Black Adam.
Yes.
Such
And that's
inspired casting, and they get rid of the coolest character and also
Oh.
the best performed character in the movie.
Bronson was amazing.
Well, here's the
like
thing
I
that
really like him.
That bugged me is that this is not the way you introduce superheroes. I would have much rather seen Black Adam being like destroying Intergang, and all of a sudden Hawkman and Dr. Fate appear in the middle and be like, hey, you can't be wrecking the city. And have them slowly realize, oh wait, we're fighting Black Adam and Intergang's also fighting Black Adam. We're inadvertently teamed up with Intergang, and Intergang is one of our biggest foes. And now we have to figure out, do we work with the bad guys that we know because the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or do we try something else with Black Adam? That is a beautiful, sure, some people would say it's cliche, but you can execute that in a very unique way to make it a really fun dynamic and conflict, and they just completely didn't even consider it. They said, nope, we're going to introduce the most powerful wizard in DC in sitting in the back of a limousine, nodding off and touching his obscenely well-polished and too reflective helmet.
I'm so glad you said helmet.
We're then going to have Pippi Longstockings playing Cyclone bicycle her way. She doesn't get a limo. She has to bike her way into the mansion. And then the other Atom Smasher guy gets a window. And then you find out the JSA is under the orders of the U.S. government to interfere in conduct, which is also very anti-heroic because it's not them doing it because it's the right thing. It's them doing it because the government orders them.
That's the thing I don't understand. And this is the frustration I had with how they set it up. The people would wonder, where have you been? Like, why would we view you as heroes when you haven't been here fighting Intergang this entire time? Like, I would rather Black Adam interfere with an ongoing fight between the two sides. But
that speech Adriana gave was completely on point. And I'm like, yeah, you really should have explored that throughout the first act of your film before she even got to talking this way.
Can I ask a question? Because, for people with DC, because I think Curtis brought it up, and other people in the chat kept saying ISIS. And I knew ISIS as like Andre or Joanna or Andre Thompson.
Adriana?
It was Joanne Cameron, I think, at one point. Anyway, she's had different names, but I didn't realize, and I had to look it up. In 2006, the name was the mother, Tomaz. So the one that plays the mother is also ISIS. Like, are they set? I didn't even realize they were setting that up because that's like a newer name for her. Because I remember her years ago, like it was a completely different name. I think it was Andrea Thomas or something like that. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
they've changed some names. This is more leading on to the New 52 Rebirth side of DC, which is also a big mistake.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's a mess. It's actually a lot like this movie. It's rushed, it's panicked, it's a little disjointed. Sure, it has some entertaining moments, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, I saw that or I read that, moving on. And you don't have that rewatch value that you got with the classic Superman or the Batman, or not the Batman, but like Tim Burton's Batman or Iron Man or Captain America or Spider-Man at that point. Like there's a charm or something to those films where you're like, I really do have to go back and watch this. And they have the scenes for it there. They have the Black Adam and the fact that he's lost his son and he's got the son's powers. But the thing is, there's no question for him there. Like, he's got his son's powers, and his son really wanted a hero to save Conduct, but he never even considers that as an option after he has, gotten revenge for his son and wife's murder. And then he's thrown in prison. As soon as he comes out, he's like, yep, I'm just going to float around. I'm going to quickly learn your language. And then react to other people attacking me like that. It's so just disappointing, because I felt The Rock deserved more considering how much he worked for this film.
I felt like we definitely needed a couple of other movies. I know that sounds really fucked up, but I wanted a Dr. Fate movie. Like, who is this person? I want to, like, as a newbie to these people, like, you need a set. If you want people to like care about somebody dying at the end of the movie, give me something. Like, I need a thread to care about. And somebody in the chat said
every fight he was in until the very last one. Like, the first one there, he's like, I'm going to create an illusion of the original Kandar to distract him while Hawkman beats him, and then I'm just going to go hide in the corner. And then Hawkman and them fight again. He's like, I'm just going to sit on the couch and eat popcorn or something.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to sit this one out. I was like, really? Like, what?
Yeah. All I could say is
his scene with the uncle when he was with the uncle when he saves the uncle was nice. And I'm like, we need more of that.
Yeah.
That's what we need more of. And sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, please. I'm always over talking people. What I said this with the DCEU, and they just keep making the same mistake. They rush. Like, if you were going to introduce the JSA, it should have been in a small role. They came in, they fought with Black Adam and realized he's actually here to help. They're out. Something even like that, or had movies before that working up to Black Adam. You know,
and it
like,
also is films with 2 endings. This movie had 2 endings.
Oh, did
it did.
Wait, what? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they quote unquote defeat Ismail and then put Black Adam in prison, and they're leaving to go, and then all of a sudden Ismail comes back because he wore the crown of Sabak and did the thing, and it's like you literally just tacked on another ending on there.
Because it was perfectly fine the first time.
Right, like I was confused
none of that would have
about
happened if Black Adam just did his like giant electrical discharge. All he had to do was just stop the bullet, which he does, and then he does this giant electrical discharge to kill everybody around him.
Yes,
and I'm like, why are you doing that?
Well, meanwhile, that guy's like, you can control it, and I'm like, what? He hasn't so far. Like, what makes you think that he can control it? Because he really hasn't put in any effort to control anything that he's been doing. So, like, how do you know he can control? Maybe he's incapable of controlling it. Like, I don't know.
He was just trying to encourage him to control it,
but he wasn't listening. He didn't care at all. Like,
you can do it. You can do it.
You can control it. I mean, come on. At the end of the day, we all know why I went to this theater. Or to this movie.
Why?
I went to see Henry Cavill, Jane.
Oh,
as Superman. And I was not happy with
the
30 fucking seconds. I wanted a little bit more.
But it meant a lot.
We need to talk.
It did.
It meant a lot.
It did mean a lot. I wanted a little bit more, but I mean, I'm glad we got what we got. But I gotta say though, like when you see this dude, like this Black Adam dude, right? Like he comes in, he's just like, yeah, I'm blowing shit up. Like, I don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, you know, like give zero fucks. He's like killing everybody. And this movie was pretty graphic, like in terms of that. Like, he's like literally like
skeletons.
Yeah,
there's lots of
turning
incineration,
people to dust,
but no blood.
incineration. Yeah, there's no blood, but there's a lot of incineration and just, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then they're like, yeah, let's send in Cyclone. And I'm like, really? Like against Black Adam?
Yeah.
Like you would think that they would hit
She's
up
just gonna blow
Superman.
him.
The power of wind. Whoa. Hey.
Whoa.
The power of
Rip,
wind. It's like,
Doctor.
why don't we send in Captain Planet? You know?
Like I was like, what? Like, why are you sending this
like
girl
her
in
little
against?
cartwheels. It was cute.
It was
like,
so useless. I was like, what?
She was like one of those little,
funny.
like, I don't know what they call it, like the little fairy dancing. You know, what is
She
like
was something.
muse, like a muse.
It just felt weird because, as you guys mentioned earlier, yeah, you have the 2 veteran JSAs and the 2 new ones, and none of them mentor the new ones. In fact, the only thing we get is Hawkman telling Matter Smasher, you and me. I'm like, that's not a thing, man. That's not a thing.
Yeah, you and me. Like I was just like, oh, okay. Like, does that mean he's gonna beat the shit out of him after? Like, I'm so confused.
Just have a talk, I guess. I don't know, but they don't even have a talk. Like
they don't.
It's so. It's a very reckless thing, Scott. They rush because they're afraid. I don't think they realize that they have to build up to everything that they need to do. Oddly enough, this movie is. It raises a question to me, which is that we're established from the child Amon, who I mean, you know, I dug his acting. I just didn't like the way he was executed. But he says, "Oh yeah, our since that tyrant king, our society has been oppressed by one ruler after another all through the last 5,000 years." And I'm thinking, then how the heck were they able to build that statue to the champion? Because if they've always been oppressed, there'd never be a statue to him around. It would always be someone else's figurehead or something. So when did they build this?
I was wondering that too. I was like, what? Who
That
built
leads
that?
me to another question I had, which was why is the point of oppressing them like foreign powers? Wouldn't it be their own dictator?
It should be, but here's the other part too.
But they don't give us a reason.
The only people
Except
that
for
are
the
like that are sort of fighting against integrating is the mom, her brother, and that other guy that gets killed right in the first act.
Well, that's literally what they
Rebel.
said. That's literally what
Did
the
they
kid
say
said.
that?
The kid was like, Oh, like Black Adam, or like he didn't even call him Black Adam at the time, whatever. We were like,
Adam
we
or whatever,
need
yeah.
you because they have all of that, and we have my mom and her. Like that's it. And I was like,
Yeah, it seems like the country's perfectly fine just being rolled over, just like that alien species in Star Trek: The Next
Oh
Generation.
my
That's like, yeah,
God.
we have 1,000 different conquerors in our life, and then the only time they rise up is to fight dead corpses that are easily knocked down.
yeah, the just the dead corpses. Which by the way, I would have thought they would be like, you know what, fuck that, I'm out. Like I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
right?
move.
I
Like
felt
you
like-
know, that's fine.
And I'm asking myself, where's the rest of the intergang army that's been oppressing this city? Like, Black Adam's maybe killed like 40 of them, and I figure if it's only 50 that's taken over the city, that's pretty pathetic. It should be in the hundreds, right? Because we see those giant mines that they're doing in that wide shot at the beginning part. It's like, why aren't all those forces brought in to help Sabak, secure his hold over this city? And they're not there. There's nobody there. It's very minimalized, and I'm shocked because you have a decent fight. I mean, yeah, sadly it's mostly CGI because they don't want to do hair and makeup for a devil creature. But it's a decent fight between Black Adam and the guy.
Dude, I
And
was laughing at
What
this
in
scene,
the
Jane.
world was this?
I was laughing
their victory
so
after-
hard at this
Oh,
scene.
and they
I was
do
like,
it all because one kid raises his hands and does that diamond thing.
Yeah, dude, like
Um,
yeah.
But this does not look like an oppressed Middle Eastern
no,
society.
No, it doesn't.
A soundstage with a
there's
bunch
a
of
girl
random
in yoga
Americans.
pants over there. like-
Jane, you are 100 times correct. It looks like a soundstage. Like
It
the
did.
buildings are exploding everywhere, and it looks like someone kind of swept the roads and was just like, like the guy from Harry Potter. Like after stuff breaks, he's like, going, like he's there just
Dude,
sweeping
this
up.
part looked like one of those musicals to me where like everyone's like,
Yes.
oh, we're just gonna bust out
like
in song
Rent.
now. I was
In
like,
the
yeah,
Heights
like what
too.
the fuck
In the
is
In the
Heights
Heights.
in the Middle East.
Les Mis.
Yeah, like I'm like, what the hell? Like this shot
Where are
made
the
no
bodies?
sense.
Oh man.
Where's the carnage?
Well,
I don't
exactly.
know. There's no dead bodies. Like there's nothing going on. I'm like,
I guess
They all have a
I-
lot of pipes.
I know. Like we've been waiting for this.
I didn't
Paul-
know that zombies could be so like easily gotten rid of with pipes.
I know.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
I guess in this culture they don't spare the rod. Ho!
Hey.
Hey, it's a flash mob. It was
Oh my
literally
God,
like,
that's
let's just
perfect.
show up and start dancing. I'm like, what the fuck is what is it?
Actually,
And
I
it was-
would have preferred a dance musical number at this point when I was watching the film because I'm like, I just need something that just feels.
Also,
It was just so bizarre because like the scenes before it was like all very heavily CG'd.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like they take all the CG out and it's like all the extras. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Like I was ready to see like a light in the background, but what's funny is you're watching this and like I know it's just a snapshot, but like look at like some of the people. Like there's this one chubby bald dude in the bottom left that's looking the wrong direction. Like
Oh, in the purple, yeah.
yeah, like is it purple? I can't even tell, but like there's people like doing some funny stuff. Like it looks really corny.
yeah, like that
Look at
chick
that
right
time.
there on the bottom right. Like she doesn't
There's-
look oppressed. Like I
There's
don't
high fives.
They all have
she's-
clean clothes. There's a
they
little
all
fire
clean
and
clothes. She's
some
got
junk
like a
behind
yoga
them.
pants on, and
Yeah.
she's just like, "Yeah, what's up?" I
There's
was
one
just
lady in
doing
a
hot
pink
yoga.
dress, like a really
Yeah.
short dress.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well,
At
I
least
mean,
she's got like a hijab going on, but the other chick's just like, "Yeah, what's up? I was just doing my Bikram yoga. Now I'm here."
that's
Now I'm
another thing I meant
zombie."
to ask you guys. Like it was like a homogenized ethnic something. Like what were they? Like it was
Couldn't
like
figure it out.
They
what-
were
think they're
they
just
were
culture-
supposed to
Yeah.
be Egyptians, like I think, because
There's some sort of
Black Adam is
cultural. It's more cultural as opposed to like
yeah.
their own culture as opposed to an adoption or parallel to others. That's what I kind of gathered. It
It's
was
kind of like they're all one.
Yeah.
it's
like
like
Egyptian
it's like
Mesopotamian thing.
yeah, Persians, like Turkish. Like
Oh yeah, the
It's-
main actress is Persian.
it's
she's hot.
She's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her. Oh my god, I saw myself and
It's about
that's
time.
why I really liked her because I was like, there's something about her that I really like, and now I know what it is.
She's been around for a while too. Like
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad to see her actually get like a main role. I mean, she's been in what Old School, like other things like that. Old School.
It's like Burning Man. They just show. It's like, oh, it's this Burning Man now. Like, let's just freaking set that. dude
Well, I
on
mean,
fire.
the ending.
The
Yeah,
rookie?
It was a burning man. He did melt into something.
That's true.
Yeah. That's
I will
true.
say the whole questioning of is Black Adam going to rule now, that came out of left field. Where he goes to sit on the throne. It's
Yeah.
like, why are you doing that? Like,
Right.
like-
you express no desire ever to
He
Right.
was supposed to be their champion. Like no one ever said like, "Oh, you're gonna rule us now." It was
I
like,
think
"Oh,
they
you're
just-
supposed to."
They just wanted the
Damn.
comic image, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, if it was the traditional Black Adam, he would definitely be there to rule. But he's not that guy. And I was also disappointed. This is a nitpick. I fully admit this is a nitpick, but I really wanted The Rock to have the pointed ears of Black Adam. He didn't.
It would have been better if he
It
did.
would have been
Yeah.
cooler.
Can you
Because
bring that?
he'll
Can you
just
bring the
look
picture
cool.
back up while we're talking? Because I want to see this. One of the guys said there's a double image at the bottom right.
I don't have it with Jane's.
Oh, okay. Because those things always make me happy when you see the same thing. Like, just throw it in there again and again, like Rings of Power type.
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. There's a double image in the bottom right. Huh.
Bottom
Is
right.
it the guy? No.
don't
I see the
that.
skateboard kid. There he is.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking the guys like all the way right are the same people, but I actually think they're different because they're doing like the same arm up thing, the very far right.
Is
I can
that,
see what.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see any doubles. I think
Yeah.
that's all of them.
Yeah,
Also-
there's not enough people to be doubles. Like it's
Right.
like there was like 15
yeah.
people there. Come on.
These
now.
are peppered on the screen, really.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It's like that. Look at that car. It's like it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Like there's nothing going on.
Is it like they did? It's like, oh, if you have a dead body or even a scratch, it's rated R. So let's not do that. Like, I don't understand. Like, they literally
I think
like
this was
had
rated
the
R
money.
for I think this would have only been rated R for language, not for violence. Because
Okay,
you can
good.
get away with a lot in violence wise before
Look
you
at-
get an R rating.
Look at that. Like what is that? Like that's a fucking a bus station. Like in the very back.
That's a bus terminal, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still has glass on it. Like
It
it's
hasn't been shattered.
It could be plexi. It could be plexiglass.
It should be broken, Scott. Like there's these people were insane. Like I was like, what?
Okay, so in the on the right hand side of frame on that pile of garbage, is that like a little fire or is that just
Yeah.
a dress that's kind of floating up?
No, I think that's fire. It's like a little fire
It's a
thing.
tiny
There's
fire.
there's
Fire.
also a tiny fire in the background, like in the
Little
very-
bonfire.
Yeah, little bonfire thing going on.
I just want to reiterate because I love our panels because we can love like Jane and I on our Monday night when we do Monday night like reviews of House of the Dragon, like we can dive hard into something and people think we hate it and we're like, no, I really enjoyed.
I like the
episode.
movie.
Yeah, like
didn't
I
hate
liked
it.
this movie. I really did. I liked the movie. The message wasn't what they leaned into. Like I said at the beginning, like this was an oppressed people, but that wasn't like, even though it was kind of a big part of it, it didn't feel like they were shoving it down. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
So
Yeah.
it was good. It was good. It's
I
just,
don't even-
man, there were some bad moments.
I don't even see dirt. Like there's
There's
is it
no
sand?
dirt. It's the cleanest ground I've ever seen. After zombie apocalypse, no. Like this, what the fuck? Like, this is- I wish we had a high def image of it like that. Can we find a better image? Is there a high def version?
It's so funny.
Let's see. Final. No, I
Tina,
don't know.
no, Tina.
What did she say? What did Tina
Just
say?
like we all secretly love She-Hulk. Oh god.
Bruh, no, Tina, that's only you.
I like the comics from 1979 to 1996.
No, I mean like the show.
No, I
everybody
don't like the
loves
show.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed with the show.
everybody likes the everybody else likes the comics. Oh wait, okay, hold on. I have a YouTube video pulled up that they're showing like the end credit scene. Wait,
Well, technically it's a mid-credit scene.
right.
Because you get the first preamble of credits of, oh, here are the main characters before you get to the cast crew and all that stuff. And then, boom, it's Amanda Waller via drone, Skype, talking to Black Adam. And then all of a sudden, the guy walks in and says, hey, we need to talk. Oh, great. We're going to have a conversation that we aren't privy to.
So when's Shazam 2 coming out?
This summer, I think. End of it's this summer.
So are we gonna get like a Black Adam cameo in Shazam 2, you guys think?
We should, because he's technically, his bad guy.
Yeah, he's like he's a Shazam, isn't he? Kind of.
Okay, so it's March 17th is when Shazam: Fury of the Gods comes out. So it should be the next. It should be technically the next DC film.
Definitely one of
Israel.
his big-
Okay, so
Yeah.
Israel, Egypt.
This was
Canada.
sent to me. I just want to give him a shout out. It was Brian. Brian McCann sent it because I really. So okay, now I get it. Like I really had no clue. Was it like in like Pakistan, like over like kind of or Egypt or Israel, Turkish? I couldn't tell. So. Thank you. Thank you for sending
the globe of the DC film is not the same as our globe. The geography is quite different.
No, it's different.
Right. Okay. I see. I didn't know that.
Like
I thought
even
it
in
was
this
a
one
little
here,
different.
Egypt and Israel and Jordan aren't even in the right orientation.
They're not in the right
all.
location. Yeah.
Not at all.
I was gonna say. I'm like,
But they're telling us something. Like these people are closer in,
I mean, they're living out
This is the
Iran
region,
altogether.
yeah.
Because technically, like Iran should be, like never mind.
Where Kondak says kind of
Yeah.
really.
It's like near Jordan.
Okay, so
like-
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, was that crowd from Black Adam? Yes, that was the after the
That was their
zombie.
extras that day.
Yeah. I'm shocked I didn't even I noticed it when the kid was like doing the speech. It looks so soundstagey, but man, when you take a still shot of it, it's bad.
Yeah.
It is bad.
I
it
was
was
shocked.
lacking.
That kind of kicked me out of the movie. I was
Yeah.
like, what in the
It did
world?
for me too. I was like, why? Why would you do this? Because otherwise it actually looked pretty okay. Like it wasn't like the worst thing ever, I thought like CG wise, I thought it was way better than Marvel. Like whatever Marvel's got going on, they need to fix it. I don't know what's happening, but
Well, they use the volume, and I don't think DC has their own in-house. Well, yeah, I know it's coming.
You are
Script Doctor,
coming in
you
and out,
are-
brother.
Yeah, that's what she said. My
Ah,
God, Scott.
boom!
You're roboting, Script
Thank
Doctor.
I'm roboting now.
Yeah, your robo script.
You
I'm
were.
robo. No.
No.
Uh,
What
I
about
good?
Viola Davis?
What about her?
Okay,
She's in
so
everything.
yeah, and she doesn't even look like even worse than usual. She does not want to be.
She
in these films.
literally phoned it in. Like this, she
She,
wasn't
like,
even there. She was
yeah.
like, "Okay, I'm just gonna I'll
Her
get
and
like
Winkler.
$1 million." to
and that
just
was great
phone in."
because one of your chat member people said it, and it's the truth. It's like almost a couple like Pierce Bronson. I felt like he wanted to give a great acting. He wanted to be great in it. He wanted
Yeah.
to do his best job. But a lot of other people, I just felt like, did they not understand their character? Did they
Do
not
you
get
understand the
direction?
part?
I
Like,
feel
did they
all
not
this
get?
was completely wasted on this because he's
Yeah.
a great actor, and in this it was just like
Who was
what?
wasted, Jane?
Aldous Hodge.
That was
the
Hawkman. Yeah,
Hawkman.
he's
Hawkman,
a
yeah.
really good actor. Really
He
good
was
actor.
good. I liked him. I thought he was really, really good. But
Where-
But I
the
would have loved for
part
him to
was
have been a different character.
yeah.
Where
yeah,
was
the part was?
what about was Pippi Longstockings in anything else? Cyclone?
I've never seen her in anything else. I don't
Why are we
know.
calling her Pippi Longstocking? Was she?
I
Did
don't-
you
The
see her
very
leg?
first time when she rode in, she had like high socks with, like stripes on it and like,
Oh.
She's
like,
scrawny.
yeah, I'll get a picture. Hold on. That was
Oh
She's
my
scrawny,
God.
tall, and then she's described as 160 something IQ and is an intelligent badass. I'm like, geez, Louise, you're really just laying
and
it
she
on thick.
blows.
And she does
Oh.
blow.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's why she was there. Like they were like, so and we have this girl and she blows. Like, and I was like, what? Okay.
And then we got this Jewish
Oh, it went
kid and he
down.
smashes. I mean, this is from the movie, people. I'm not trying at this point.
Oh, that's true. You're getting a picture? Meanwhile, here's Henry Cavill holding a turtle.
Oh,
Not the cutest thing you've ever seen.
Henry.
He's so hot. I was so happy when I saw him. It was so great. It's the best part
You
of the
should have
movie.
more pictures of him just to sprinkle throughout the streams.
I know I should, but like when I saw this, I lost my mind. I was like,
I
something
named him
turned
Dante.
Oh my god. Um. Okay. What else? What else was the problem with this movie? Okay. Yeah. But Jane, I was saying like, dude, the amount of absolute garbage that Marvel is putting out, though, this just seemed a lot better.
Yeah.
In comparison, like
It's, I mean, it's a fun superhero-ish movie.
It had less jokes, which I appreciated.
yeah.
And the comedy,
Yeah.
when it did come, it came directly from technically one character, which was Atom Smasher.
Mhm.
Where he's running, he's like, I'm a little bit out of the way, and then he finds out, oh, I'm going in the exact wrong direction. I'm thinking, oh god.
I like that. The other thing I did like about it though was when he levitated, it looked like it felt like he was levitating. I did like that. It seemed like there was
Black Adam?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's what I was saying before you got on. I felt like there were certain things that like The Rock was like loved about Schneider's stuff, and he had a lot of control over this movie. And I think that was one thing. Like he wanted it to be like when he sped off, it looked like Superman. Like he liked that special effects, and when he hovered, it was like a Superman hover. Yeah.
I wanted more Superman. This is what I'm saying. I just don't understand where they're like, this dude is insanely strong, and then they're like, we'll just send these guys in. Like they'll be fine. No, like it's like, no, send in Superman. This dude is like literally like Superman. So why isn't he here?
Okay,
Like
question. Superman takes a call and shows up for Viola Davis. I'm blanking on her name.
Yeah, which is really not. It's very out of character.
She's
that was
horrible.
Weird.
You know, and
Well,
she's governmental.
Part of the Suicide Squad. She's a villain. Like, why is Superman like at her beck and call all of a sudden?
Right.
Like, I'm so
because
confused.
I think sadly, I think some of the people still within Warner Brothers and DC still think of Superman in the Frank Miller way, which is that Superman is so patriotic, so loyal to America that he's literally their lapdog. And I'm like, no, that's not Superman at all.
I hope it's not in this world.
But they have worked together in the comics, right?
Yeah, but not in the DC movies.
Begrudgingly, they have worked together. It's usually for the enemy is my enemy is my friend type of thing, where Superman's going to do it anyways, and Amanda Waller's like, no, you're going to do it this way, and he's like, you're not the boss.
You don't tell me what to do. Yeah,
it's very. The dichotomy is that the Justice League and the JSA and a number of other little smaller groups don't like Amanda Waller because she is the definition of abuse of power. She comes from like a poor neighborhood. She lost her husband. She lost a couple of her kids to gang violence. She gets involved politically, works her way up through the political sphere, gets to the very top of her office before that's not as important as like the presidency or a colonel or anything of that nature. And she does exactly the same thing that the gangs in her neighborhood do, except she just does it on a worldwide scale. And so she's a huge hypocrite, and she's a great villain.
She's a good villain. I like her as a villain.
She's always at odds with Batman, and sadly, in the recent years, they've been writing Batman stupid when he's around her, to the point where she's supposed to be better than him intellectually, and it's like, no, there's supposed to be a cat and mouse game with them. And I mean, she is the bad guy. She would actually, I mean, in the cartoon series Justice League Unlimited, after she realizes that she had been manipulated by Lex Luthor, she decides to be a bit more cooperative with Justice League and these heroes, and they kind of have like a very fragile friendship, which I thought, okay, that's fine. But in this type of cinematic application of her, she is the bad guy. She is not to be trusted. And the one thing that is kind of very much a crux of superheroes is the superheroes exist because established authorities and governments are failing to live up to the responsibilities that they have taken on. Like, that's why the superhero exists. It's like Batman wouldn't need to be there if cops did their job and weren't corrupt and didn't allow his parents to die in a random killing. Superman wouldn't have to fight for truth, justice, and the American way if the rest of the country, politically speaking, lived up to truth, justice, and the American way. Like it's those things. It's about the fact that these are people who are the spirit of freedom and liberty, and they're fighting against multiple enemies, the criminal side and the corrupt side, and that's what they're there for. If there was no corrupt side, they wouldn't have to do the fight because the criminal side would not be able to take advantage of them. So like
And
that's their function.
And that's how I always saw like what she did. It's like government's gonna government, and that means you're
Yeah.
gonna get the
Yeah.
corruption, you're gonna get the alt heroes
Yeah, but
doing
why
the
do you-
things that they need them to do.
but Jane, why do you think like to me the JSA is like the Justice League? They stand separate from the U.S. government. Like, don't go with the Frank Miller version. You know, like Superman is. They've set it up in the DCEU that he will not work with any one government. It's like that was a stupid direction just to push him in at the very end.
Yeah, I think
You
they've
know?
mixed up so much though at this point. And
That's
so
true.
It's like
We
what,
just like
where's
this
the
is
consistency? Where are we?
yeah. There's so
Homogenized.
much problems. Hey, Demogenite, there's
Mhm.
there's a lot of problems when it comes to these kind of DC movies, especially for normies like me,
Mhm.
where it's like, okay, it's the same thing with Justice League. Like we had this problem where they just rushed that movie, and we still didn't have a Flash movie. We still don't have a Flash movie, and like now, I mean,
hope
I'm
we
not
don't
even
get one.
I mean, yeah, and now I'm not even going to like see it now because I freaking hate Ezra Miller and I'm not supporting that shit.
Yeah.
But we still like we don't have one. And in this case, it's the same thing. Like this is Black Adam's story. Like it should have been Black Adam's story, not like, okay, here is Dr.
Like,
Fate, and
thank
here's this dude, and here's this dude, and here's this dude. And it's like, okay, I don't know any of these people. I can't get involved. And I thought that Pierce Brosnan did a great
He was
job
awesome.
because he's Pierce Brosnan. I didn't expect any less from Pierce Brosnan. But at the same time, I was like, his character was kind of like, like, I'm like, okay, I don't know. Where did you get that helmet? It's an alien helmet. How'd you get it? I don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it with Marvel, with Doctor Strange, I know the Doctor Strange movie. I know his origin story. I don't. I know like he lost his hand. He went to get trained as a wizard and blah blah blah. I know his origin story in the MCU.
Right.
I don't know this dude's origin story, so why would I care when he gives his life? I don't.
Again, they feel like they could just like give us a couple like little brief words about it, and we should understand. Like literally, that helmet possesses and does not care about its host.
He's the other part too. Kent Nelson is 100 years old. He's also a widower. He misses his wife.
Yes. Yep.
And they don't even give us that at all.
Right. They don't give us like that, like the missing of his wife. So maybe that sacrifice was also his way of being like, I could finally move
It's
on.
time,
But like
yeah.
that helmet possess it does not care about the host usually.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the
and
Lord
that's-
of Order.
I
It's
mean,
Nobu.
Yep.
They said that like a little bit, like they gave us like this throwaway
But
line
that was
where
it. Right.
yeah, like they were like, oh, the helmet picks who wants to be the wearer. Like, and I was
Right.
like, really?
And it did
okay.
say it possesses, but did it
Yeah.
look like at that at all?
It
No.
did not.
It looked like
No,
he
because
controlled it.
once the Hawkman picked it up, like he could control it. Like he was like, this dude taught me how to do it, and I was like,
Which
really?
makes
Like,
no
what?
sense. It comes
Yeah.
completely out of left field. I would have much
Mhm.
preferred if the death scene was actually a bait and switch where he just illusioned himself as dying, just to buy enough time for Black Adam to
Right.
show up. But no,
that would have
wasn't
made
the
more
case.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would have been more badass too, because then you would have been like, yeah, this wizard dude's not gonna die like this easily. He's pretty badass. Like I don't see why he would die. Like
I also laughed quite quickly and loudly when Sabak destroys the ship made of nth metal that is supposed to be indestructible.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's supposed to be indestructible, but so easily destroyed by the
Well, he's like a
magic
demon
of the
god,
guy,
right?
of the demon guy. Yeah,
He's
and
like a
then he gets
demon
stabbed with the nth metal, and it's like, yeah, it's doing harm to him, but
Yeah.
he just destroyed a whole ship made of that stuff. Why is it doing any harm to him? Like,
oh my god. Real quick, let me get the super chat. Clorox Jello Shots for 5 says Kandak is on the Sinai Peninsula. That map's actually right, other than the fictional country.
Yeah, I had to double check it. I was looking at him like, wait a minute, the orientation looks off, and then it was.
We
no,
learned
I was
something
off.
too.
Yeah.
At Nina Infinity's channel. I like it.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is the place to learn. We learn
Dude,
things here
you
all
missed
the
me
time.
last night where I was like, I said Socrates and oh god, let's not talk about it. I'm sorry. You saved me there. Thank you.
MR Jants for 10 says many praise Davis for performance as Waller. As for me, She a big meh. Mainly because we've had such a great CCH Pounder voice. What?
Yeah, CCH Pounder,
voice?
Carol Pounder. She's an actress.
Okay.
Is Warehouse 13 good?
I'm trying to remember. I might
It
be
was
confusing
okay.
it with Precinct 13, but
I remember it's like they
enjoyed
find mythical things and put it in this warehouse. Is
Scott,
that...
let me finish the
Sorry,
super chat. Jesus
sorry.
Christ.
That's why I've been muting myself.
Her and play basically the same character as Mrs. Frederick in Warehouse 13. I was like, oh my God, you read way faster than me. So I'm like, I've lost in this conversation already. Okay, thank you. Evarjance. And now you can talk.
I'm okay, thank you.
What were you saying? Like, what is Warehouse 13 good?
Warehouse 13, if it's the show I'm thinking about, was a show about like these people that worked at like some department of something where they found mythical items and they kept them in this warehouse. Am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know.
maybe I can't remember.
Brian likes it.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, Evar, I kind of agree with you in terms of like, what's her name? Davis? Viola Davis. Yeah. I feel like Viola Davis, to be completely honest with you, I feel like she's way too overrated. Like, and I think she's very one-tonal too. Like, I've never seen her be anything else but like just that same tone, like that same role. Because I used to watch that show. What was it? The murder one, or that's how she.
How to Get Away with Murder?
Yeah, that one.
Damn it! I was gonna do it too, but I thought I was muted. How to Get Away with Murder?
Yeah,
I
that
also
one.
think Viola Davis is too thin to play Amanda Waller because Amanda Waller is actually obese.
Oh, well, they need to. It's not like there's none of that in Hollywood. Just get Lizzo. God, but, you know, like it's
yes,
just
she is the shape of Lizzo.
Have you seen her in Fences?
in Fences.
Yeah.
No, I saw like The Help. Like she was good in that, but ever since I saw How to Get Away with Murder, it's like the same thing over and over again. And I feel like the Suicide Squad chick is the same person.
I think,
I'm
I
like,
think she even may see those types of characters as being the same thing, but she definitely has range. She just plays different. It depends on the character, but I think she sees those two characters as very similar. And I don't know why exactly, but maybe she feels like they give the same energy.
Yeah. What in the
Yeah.
other one too? In like the How to Get Away with Murder? Like, oh my God! Every time she cried, which was all the time, like it
I
was
hated
literally
that show.
the entire episode. She's crying, and every time they would zoom into her face, and there's like snot coming out of her nose, and I was like, do we really need to see this like close up
It
for
was-
2 hours?
It was
Like,
so
what?
stupid.
It was dumb.
Yeah,
It was
you
dumb.
need that type of cry in a comedy because then that's funny gross as opposed to funny sad.
Yeah, funny, serious, and you're like, okay, I can't. Like, no, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because Amanda Waller is a very confident, calculating, paranoid character, and Viola Davis does kind of play her sort of like I don't want to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always like
every
she's
iteration
annoyed.
she's been in. Like I didn't get to see her. I didn't get to see any of the main cast when I was working on Ayer's Suicide Squad and props, but you do hear stuff is like, yeah, nobody really wanted to be on that production. About 3 weeks into filming, everybody was like, yeah, we just want this to end. It's not going well. We like the director, we like the crew, but the stuff we're doing just does not feel fun.
What was that?
That's the David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Gotcha.
Jane, what was the movie you said where she had range?
Fences. I didn't like the character, but it was a very different kind of character from what we've seen her in before.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
I don't know if I saw Fences. Yeah, but see, like, okay, but Fences is a period drama.
Yeah. That's
So
what I'm
just
saying.
like The Help, it would be like the same level. Like she'll play that same character and then
Mhm.
she'll play it again. Like, and it's the same thing with the other two movies. It's like she has just one level for each type of movie she plays. Now,
Right.
you saw the new one she played, The Woman King. Like, how was she in that?
Yeah.
Was she different?
That one, yeah, that was different, but I feel like it was sort of like you said, like it's a different kind of character, but if she plays another character in that same frame, she would
It'll be
probably play it the same way.
yeah. I get it. I get that.
Like
Yeah,
a
I
new
just
Yes, her
category of character
archetypes.
she'll play again.
yeah, I just think she's like a little bit overrated for me. So like when everyone's like, "Oh my god, yes, Viola Davis is in this," I'm like whatever, who cares? Like I don't know. It's not the best for me personally. It's not my cup of tea. But
Props to her for making some good change for really an hour of work.
yeah. Dude,
I
she
didn't feel
probably
like she
got
needed to
paid.
be in this in the first place. It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
At all.
It's like it was a cameo.
But
It
that's
is.
what I'm saying. They just, again, force so much into one movie. Like, they, even if they wanted to introduce the JSA, she didn't have to be involved in that.
No.
Even if they wanted to introduce Superman, she didn't have to be involved in
I'm
that.
I'm gonna be like the devil's advocate on this one. I don't mind her being involved. You know why? Because I seen her in the other DC movies, so that is a familiarity for me.
But
So
that's
I'll be
the only
like, oh, I
reason.
know her.
Right.
Right. And that's the
so-
only reason they linked her, Nina, is because they're like, oh, no one knows the JSA, so let's just say they work for Amanda
The government.
Waller. Yeah, the government.
Government.
Which
But-
is like,
But that's
what?
fine with me. Like I'm fine knowing that, but I'm not fine with she called Superman and he can. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
that was
why
dumb.
would she call Superman? Like that doesn't make any sense.
It makes
'Cause
no sense. It would make more sense if he just showed up because of everything that was happening.
Right.
that
Well, it'd make more
or-
sense if the JSA showed up because of everything was happening too.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
it would make more sense if the Suicide Squad showed up because we've seen her control them, and then like Black Adam's technically a villain. So wouldn't you think that they would send in the Suicide Squad to get this guy? I don't know. Like it
Sure.
just seems
I mean,
more
definitely
logical.
yeah, Suicide Squad does get sent on a lot of international missions to basically usurp foreign governments or attack other threats that could pose a threat to the United States. They're a very much a mercenary team.
Girl, I was dying. He showed up, and I was like, why not more? Could we have like at least 5 minutes? Or something?
Yeah. I thought he would actually be involved.
Yeah, like I would have liked him to just like come in there and punch him a couple times at least or something. Like ended on
You don't even get his
Excellent.
abs in the shot either. You just get his chest up.
I know,
Yeah.
girl. Anna, I was like, we needed more. We needed more. This is for you, Anna. This is for you. Here's Henry with a turtle. This is just because. God. But otherwise it was all right. It was an all right movie. It's better than Marvel.
It's not an
has-
upsetting film. I mean, for me, it was just kind of disappointment because the potential was there, and it just.
Yeah, it's just-
Yeah, it
I
fell
mean-
short.
I think a lot of people are gonna like it for the action, and I think I'm all like, more power to you, man. Because
Yeah.
they are some good stuff.
There
I did
was
like
some
those
really good
scenes.
stuff.
I did like some of the action scenes and the colors and all that. But it was
did
dark,
too.
and when it was dark, it was too dark.
hmm
DC. But hey, put that up against She-Hulk. I'll take
Yeah.
Black Adam any day.
No. Okay, no. I'm not gonna put it up against She-Hulk because that's not a movie. Okay,
Okay, so
I
let's
will put it up
Captain
against
Marvel?
Thor, and I will put it up against Doctor Strange because that's the last two Marvel movies that
Yeah.
we got, and they've been absolute trash.
Yep.
Like fucking garbage.
Thor Love and
Yeah.
Thunder, like it just like
Ugh.
you have been building up. What I hate about the Thor character is every movie he's in, he is starts off a little goofy and learns. The next one starts off a little goofy and learns, except for like between Endgame and the first Infinity War and Endgame. But after that, they went back to that formula. Like he is either make him comic relief or just let him grow as a character. Like Jane is more worthy than him. Come on.
Flip too hard, damn it!
Well, I think that's pretty much summing it up. Like, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about with regards to this movie? Because I think
I mean,
we basically
this movie
covered
felt like it could have come out maybe 10 years ago. It didn't have anything current that kind of set it apart. I really wish that they explored more Intergang stuff because Intergang's a huge thing. It's also like co-founded, or at least it's in cahoots with Darkseid and Apocalypse people. But like to make Ishmael, like I don't understand the Ishmael character. I wanted more of him. I wanted to know what was going on with that type of stuff. I would have liked I like the little bits where they're trying to get the crown, but I would have liked the fact that Black Adam felt that it was also important to get the crown, and maybe if they played around with the fact that he wanted to wear it for himself, that would have been interesting too.
Or destroy it.
That
or
would have been
something.
cool.
Or just what bugs me. So we learned that Eternium can hurt him because there's that
Right.
one rocket that's got Eternium written on
Oh
it.
yeah, because
That makes
it got the
sense.
scrape
Yep,
on his.
yep.
Yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
never comes back again. It never comes into play.
back. I was like, oh, I for sure thought that was gonna come back, and not like they didn't do anything with that.
Okay,
Nope.
question about that. Was when he dies and is then resurrected, is the crown like turned into his horns, or is the crown just gone now?
It looks like the crown was just gone to me.
Okay, because
It
I
was
was thinking
gone.
like the crown would have been something like he's trying to pull it off, and like that's what's like his hands are getting destroyed. Because like
That would have
you're-
been something. Dude,
Right.
that would have been way cooler.
I should be right.
I'm looking at I'm just quickly trying to pull up one of the reviews, because one of the reviews I saw from the critics, I mean, like right now, I'm looking at Black Adam on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that it matters, because nobody
Mhm.
gives a shit about Rotten Tomatoes anymore, anyways. But I think it's interesting that the audience score is so much higher than the critic scores.
So why
so
aren't the
far.
critics racist? Like, why aren't they the racist now? Because literally, these people have been crushing us for so long, and they're the ones now crushing a film with a lot of people of color, pox. Like it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me that they get away with it, and I hate this
Because
system.
they see it as retaliation for what was it that they wanted out? The girl, was it Batgirl?
Oh,
Batwoman?
Batgirl.
Oh yeah, they see
Batwoman
in
got
retaliation for Batgirl.
Batgirl
which
being
is-
canceled,
so stupid.
Which is
or
bad
Batwoman, or I
because
don't know which one.
here's the thing. So Black Adam tested the same as Batgirl, and they decided to go with Black Adam.
You have a star in The Rock. You have somebody else playing Batwoman. Like that's
And you
why
also
they
have
went with.
and Michael Keaton's thing as a cameo, and Brendan Fraser was not even pushed with regards to this film, even though he plays the villain in it.
Right.
But they're
Um,
upset about that.
And they are upset about that. But the other part too is that if Black Adam didn't have enough time for it to be recut and reshot completely enough, so what we're seeing is basically negligible difference between this and what was tested when those two were tested before Batgirl was dropped, which means that if this does which means that they have some sort of approach or tone that's going on with these two films.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say the quality for Black Adam is lacking in the writing and execution side of things, and I bet the quality for Batgirl was probably the same, but it had the additional aspect of possibly an agenda.
Yeah.
And
So-
this one doesn't have the agenda, which doesn't make it better. It just means that it's fitting the standardized area of what a movie should be, which is a compelling story that's very intimate with the characters and makes you want to see it again.
Right.
And-
Well, that's my question script for you is do you think this movie and more Batgirl, but this movie also and Dwayne The Rock, because he was, dude, he put some muscle into it. He like pushed to get Cavill, where Hammond did not want that, and now he's gone. Did The Rock have something to do with that, you think? Like,
No, I can
or
tell you
Haman
that
or whatever his name is.
I can tell you the circumstances as to why they didn't really want Cavill in it. It's twofold. The first fold is that they were really backing Cavill behind Man of Steel. They loved him. They were already ready to do a sequel before Man of Steel came out. Man of Steel came out and did not perform the way Warner Brothers wanted it to, and it was not well critically received. And what they did is they panicked. They said, "We need Batman in order to make $1 billion in the box office." So they did Batman v Superman, which also featured Wonder Woman, which is the first time you see all three of them on screen, and it also didn't make $1 billion. And then they did the Justice League with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder had his issues with Warner Brothers, and then he left for a tragedy. Joss Whedon came in, finished the thing. It hit theaters, did not perform well. At that point, Warner Brothers was saying, yeah, the tone for this and the cast is not the direction this needs to go. We're going to go somewhere else. A new regime comes in, and they say, yep, we agree with that, and our somewhere else is Supergirl and Batgirl and all these things.
Right.
And that's what pushed it off. It actually was less to do with the fact they didn't like Henry. It was more to the fact that he had 3 shots, which he did his best for. The 3 shots that were taken were not performing the way that they wanted them to. They weren't competing with Marvel on the level that they needed to.
Right.
And so we're just not going to keep investing in him. We're just going to go with the girl stuff because that seems to be the trend right now in Hollywood. And when that took a while to get started up, and then these movies started coming out, and then the regime changed with the buyout to AT&T, and then with the merger to Discovery, they're like, no. Let's at least try one. Let's at least try to do Superman the way Superman should be done. Let's try to do Batman the way Batman should be done. Let's do Wonder Woman the way Wonder Woman should be done. That's currently what's being thrown around at the studio level now.
Right.
And their first announcement to try and do this is like, okay, let's have Black Adam in here. Let's make it, a fun, masculine-driven, like father figure type tone, which they did, and I applaud them for that.
I liked it.
And then let's bring in Superman and say, listen, we think we've got. I mean, The Rock is trying to convey, saying like, listen, Cavill should be Superman, and hopefully we can find a movie that actually shows us why we think he should be Superman, because we've already had 3 instances now that have not proven that.
But he went. The Rock went around Hamad. Walter
Hamada? No,
Hamada.
Hamada greenlit Black Adam.
No, he greenlit Black Adam, but he went around him to get Cavill. He was so against it. He went around him to go to Mike DeLuca and Pam somebody. I forget her
Mike
name.
DeLuca and Pam Brady came in much later than that. Hamada didn't want Cavill because from his perspective, they were doing Flash to reset
everything you just said.
And they had no idea, and they had no plans for Cavill, so he didn't want that to contradict the Flash.
God, Flash is fucking terrible. Like, just cancel it.
And then when Hamada was basically told, listen, you're probably not going to get your contract renewed October 21st, even though Black Adam is your film. So you're basically just in there in name only. He's left now, and that position is vacant. And now Pam Abdi and the other guy formerly from New Line.
Mike DeLuca? No,
DeLuca, thank you. Sorry,
yeah,
DeLuca. They're acting right now in that stead, and they just like, yeah, of course, we'll throw in Cavill in there. We want.
Okay, I'm just saying rumors are
Zaslav
saying
wants a Superman film. We already have a guy can be Superman. He's going to be 40 next year. We can probably get another 5-10 years out of him before we have to recast. Let's give it a shot and give this guy finally the chance that he hasn't really had with the character.
Okay.
And so if anyone has Chaim Garcia, who is one of the key producers of the Superman film, if they have his contact information, send it to me because I will pitch him a Superman script that you will all really like.
Dude,
do it.
please, let's find that. Let's start a writing campaign.
It's weird because I'm reading some of these like reviews, and some of them are like, that makes sense, like on why you didn't like it, and some of them are just way like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like,
give me a good one. Give me a good left field.
Well, there was one, and I can't find that one, but there was one that Yellow Flash, shout out to Yellow Flash, he did a video on it, and the guy was like, oh, I didn't like it because it didn't have enough Middle Eastern politics in it. And I was like, this is a fake universe. Like, why you
they wanted Middle Eastern politics?
Yeah, like it was like,
I kind of felt like they did too much just by having the Westerners there.
Yeah, like
that's a good point.
They should have had their own dictator, or the country next to him is imposing on them. Like
that's Ismail, because Ismail's the dictator, hiding like as a Prince and the Pauper type of thing. And here's the other fun part that I don't think a lot of the antis have realized is that, technically speaking, because Dr. Fate sacrifices himself, you have a white savior moment.
You do.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
White guys. Sorry.
That's really true. Like Black Adam is another classic case of a DC skipping 7 steps ahead of themselves, like a Brahma bowl in a china shop instead of organically building something exceptional from the ground up with care. Like, I think that's a very valid criticism of this movie.
Yeah. I think that's probably what it is. I think the negative scores are probably split between the activists and the people that are like, no, I think this is actually generally a poor movie.
Right.
Yes,
because the top critics is 29% and the generals is 40%.
Yeah,
and I think it's probably supposed to be more like 55-60 if it was more on the meritocracy side of things.
Yep. I also think the 90% for audience is just people are happy that, first, it's The Rock. Second, it's like one of those things where, again, it's not the message. People are just happy to see that, so they're overscoring it.
And the fight was, like I said, it was visually fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think people like spectacle, especially
Yep.
when it's in this format.
Like
Yeah.
this lady here, she says Dwayne Johnson's missing in action, not technically or even physically, but certainly in the only way that really matters. His heretofore irrepressible charisma, because in Black Adam it has been repressed, not just repressed, but absent. He's never had it.
That's
Like
a
Dwayne
Oh, Dwayne Johnson's
Johnson.
charisma?
Oh
Yeah.
no, he's a charismatic guy. Dude, watch
is.
Ballers. He plays, dude, he could play. He is a good actor and he's very charismatic, but this is not the character for that.
But that's not the
That's true.
character, though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is not a like Black Adam is not a charismatic
That's,
character. Like he's not
That's
supposed to
her
be a
taking
player.
The Rock. Yeah, that's her expecting The Rock to be The Rock in this. And Dwayne Johnson was trying to be Black Adam, and I
Yeah.
give him props for that. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a bit more of a stoic part,
Yeah.
but like I've seen him in Jungle Cruise, the Jumanji
Mhm.
films, even in Baywatch, and I'm like, yeah, he's charming and fun in those.
Yeah. Watch
In those
watch the
settings.
series Baller, man. Baller's on HBO. He's like an ex football player that now is trying to represent people, other athletes. Dude, he is great in that. And
Oh,
also-
he was great in Gridiron. Did you see Gridiron?
Yes.
No.
Very
But I
charming
saw
in
him in
Gridiron.
Walk the Line. Is that what it was? Walk the Line. He was pretty good. Like he was pretty charismatic in that.
Oh, Get Shorty or whatever.
Get Shorty, yeah.
Get Shorty. Yeah, he was good in that. It like he's got, but I still think like The Rock has like a little bit like one tone too. Like
Well,
He's in a
just the
pocket.
same.
Like he doesn't have the biggest amount of range, but he's in a pocket that's very comfortable and people are fine with. And he doesn't
Yeah.
try to stretch himself out beyond his ability. Like that.
And he
Which I'm
doesn't-
fine with. Which
Right,
I'm
he-
fine with. Like he was fine in this to me. I
Absolutely.
didn't mind him at all.
It's like he doesn't fake it either. The dude is an ex-football player that became a WWE superstar. He's not classically trained. He is doing a very capable job at what he's trying to do. And I bet you with time, he can probably find in better direction, maybe find this role.
A Walking Tall. That's the one I was thinking of.
Walking
Thank
Tall,
you.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one. This guy's review is literally me. The film ultimately overloads us with so much amazing nonsense that we sort of give up and give in. That was basically
That's
me.
a good way of putting it.
And also
Sounds like
like
peer pressure.
it's like if you see this after Doctor Strange and Thor Love and Thunder, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, this is a good movie. But otherwise, like if it stands on its own, like no, it's a
Did
pretty
you read the
fucking
one
average
above it?
movie.
Did you read the one above it? Because that's
No,
great.
let me read that.
Oh my
Dwayne
God.
Johnson's the most uninteresting as an ancient Egyptian bodybuilder who must learn, like Drax and Guardians of the Galaxy, that sarcasm is cool and that like Arnie in Terminator 2, torture and murder is not. I mean, that's a very valid criticism.
Yeah,
That-
I mean,
that's, yeah.
he's a
that's
fish
kind
out of water.
That's. I mean, I hate it when they do fish out of waters and they don't actually explore fish out of water. It's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
Jesus,
That's a
man, out
good
of
way of
time.
putting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's
Why?
see him try and figure it out. Nope. No, he's just going to be fighting and someone else is going to just walk him through this stuff. He's essentially like a superhero genie to him on. Like, he doesn't grant wishes, but he's like, go kill that guy. And he's like, okay. It's just-
Black
so
Adams
weird.
is 2 hours of a cinematic soup, the ultimate statement from a god king of movies that everyone sees but no one remembers. Ouch! Like that. I don't know if no
Ooh.
one's gonna remember that. Like I
I think people are going
know.
to forget a bunch that what happened in Black Adam, but not the entrance and probably
Yeah,
not
dude.
the final fight.
We still remember him
Yeah.
in Scorpion King. I mean, he's The Rock.
no one's forgetting that initial Black Adam entrance into
Yeah, that was
the MCU.
badass.
That was bad
Yeah.
fucking ass. I don't care who you are. There's no way you're forgetting
I
that.
mean-
And I think that's going to go down in history as one of the best superhero entrances of all time.
Right. Even the attempt of like, at first I'm like, are they really playing this song? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do. Oh, excuse me. Like, let's just go with
No,
this. And it
Actually,
was
I
awesome.
hated the music. I
Oh,
hated the
I
musical
did too,
choices too,
but
as
that's
well.
what
They're
I'm
so
saying.
derivative. I was like, why didn't you just do an orchestral thing of Black Adam's themes? And why did you have to
Yeah.
go into the pop songs?
They were
I was
going for
I was
Guardians of
wondering,
the
Are they
Galaxy
going to do
almost.
Talking Head Psycho Killers next?
But-
Like, how
right.
derivative?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was like, are you trying to do like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing here? Like play like something that just doesn't really like
It would have
add
been
to-
better if he had his own theme.
Yeah.
Like it would have
Yeah.
been way better if they had made his own theme.
They should have got Christopher Drake to do it. Christopher Drake does a bunch of themes for superheroes. He did he did the soundtrack for the Dark Knight Returns cartoon. He did the Green Lantern theme for the Green Lantern cartoon. They're really good. They're way better than the movies deserve. And the fact that they don't use him, or like Joe Kramer, who's another really good guy who does some fantastic scores, it bothers me. It's like, let's just grab the stuff that's in top 40 from 1995 and whip it in here because that's what the kids want. It's like, no.
Yeah, I will say this though, like with regards to like the split we're seeing in terms of the critics, like on Rotten Tomatoes, I really wish that they would treat Marvel movies the same way because they have not treated Marvel movies the same way. Because
Disney has a heavier stake in Rotten Tomatoes than Marvel.
Yes, I think so, and I think that's the reason why. And I mean, it would have at least been a little bit more even with in terms of like how freaking Doctor Strange is the best movie of all time. It's like, bro, that movie sucked. Like, can we get a grip on these Marvel movies? I don't know.
The problem with the Marvel movies now is, again, just like with Thor, they've lost like the connectivity of the leaving like actual where the character's supposed to be after the last one. So like they just start changing as people all of a sudden in different movies. Like, you know, like, I don't know.
Well, they sitcomed him. They kind of reset him back because Thor's flaw in the first film is that he's arrogant, but he's always gung-ho about what he wants to do. And then he becomes a hero. And I mean, his flaw should be that he's very gung-ho about whatever thing is important to him at that moment. And I like the fact that there's comedy and the fact that he loves being a hero. Right. And he loves doing the right thing. Right. And you can actually mine that for good comedy.
Oh, I'm fine with good comedy.
So, like, Thor Ragnarok did it in a really well-balanced way. And I think that has to do with the fact that Taika Waititi had someone over his shoulder during that process.
Never give Taika Waititi a fucking movie again.
Flip too hard, damn it!
I would say don't give him Marvel anymore because he's
that's
really
what I mean
good
by
on his
Marvel
other stuff.
Yeah, like I mean I like Jojo Rabbit, but like
Jojo Rabbit was beautiful. And the other part too that also bugged me is the fact that with Thor: Love and Thunder, he lost the narrative. He had no idea. It didn't seem like he understood what he was trying to do here, and I think this is a caveat to the fact that James Gunn did it well because he took what Joss Whedon kind of injected and then amped it up in a different way. And that is, they knew how to do levity and comedy sparingly enough so that it actually had value. And what ends up happening is now all of these movies are turning into how many jokes can we fit into a scene? Can we make this a superhero comedy as opposed to a superhero with some comedy in it? And it's changing genres. Because Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was like horror, but it did have a number of jokes in it. Thor: Love and Thunder had way too many jokes. Spider-Man: Far From Home did not have a whole lot of jokes in there. And the ones that were in there were more touching jokes as opposed to like heartstring jokes as opposed to just blit joke for the sake of joke. Shang-Chi tried to have jokes. They even like Gangnam Style joke in there, which was stupid.
That was, I mean, I didn't even watch that movie.
I don't remember anything from the Eternals. So if there was
nobody cares. See, that's the thing. Like that's a forgettable movie. Cause I mean, I didn't see it, but like everyone I've talked to is like, they forget it even exists.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, wait, that was a movie.
There's a massive marble looking, Eternal coming out of the earth and it's never referenced in any of the newer movies. Like, no, it would have changed the landscape of our planet completely. I'm
insane.
sorry.
Okay, let me get the super chat. Kenneth Dowling, thank you so much for the $20. So generous. Says, hi Nina, I like your head decoration. Thank you. I just got it. It's a spider. Jane, do you like my little spider? It's purple.
I love your whole setup.
Thanks. I also got this thing. It's really cute.
I like it too. You don't care to ask me, but I think it's pretty dope.
Thanks, Scott.
Anytime,
that's so
my friend.
sweet. Thank you. Black Adam was good, not great. Sorry, what was that, Jane?
No, I forgot. I forgot my pumpkin.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Don't do that in real life. It's too messy.
Yeah, don't do that in real life. Black Adam was good, not great. Davis is one note, but she's good in fences. There you go. That's what Jane said too. Waller is the Nick Fury of DC, and that's why she was in it. That makes sense. Watch House of Dragon tonight. Peace. I know Jane is going to be watching that, and Jane's going to be on Nerdrotic's channel after talking about the show.
She's been crushing it. Jane, the chat loves you.
Yes.
It's
The chat
awesome
was.
to watch.
The last-
I'm so proud.
I mean, even on the BBC, everyone's always like, Jane's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true. She is.
Thank
And that's
you.
why like she needs to be here every Sunday. I'm always
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, please show up on my shows because everyone thinks
And
we're
her
better.
computer needs to be plugged into the power at all
Yeah.
times.
And I saw
Yeah,
Legal
that's
Vices in the chat. Shout out to Legal Vices. He's a super sweet guy. Met him finally on Friday on Nick Rekida's channel, which is on Rumble now. So everybody subscribe
Yeah,
to
love
all
Rumble.
that stuff. Sub to Legal Vices. He's awesome. He said, I'm going to watch it because frankly, there's nothing else to watch in the theaters. Kill some time and just enjoy the stupidity of it all. I absolutely recommend that you do that. If you feel like you just want to kill some time and go to the movies, this is a great movie to go to. It's just a popcorn flick. This is not one of those, like, I'm not like Thor when I came out of that movie and I was like, don't watch this fucking movie. It's a waste of time. There's
Yeah.
some really good action scenes in this, and it's good. It's good. I highly recommend
I
that you
just
do that.
subscribed.
Fine. There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
And then we had Kenneth. Thank you so much for the 5. Says the girl who plays Cyclone is so cute. I'm a Marvel guy, but I like Dr. Fate in this. Lady guys, yeah. She was cute, too cute for this movie because I was like,
Yeah, she's a pretty girl.
you're gonna get destroyed. Like Black Adam's gonna break you. Like, why are
But
they
I feel
sending Cyclone?
Like I felt like,
But she was supposed to
I-
be the big hitter, right, Jane? She was the big hitter.
I don't know
No.
if she was.
No,
I thought they said her. I thought they said her and the kid.
No, they were like,
No.
dude, she's gonna die. Who's the big hitter? And then
my
they
bad.
were like, oh, we got Atom Smasher for that. And I was
Sorry
like,
for the
okay.
interruption.
Yeah.
Go on.
She blows,
I was
he
just-
grows. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was just gonna say, I what I liked about it, and maybe this is why my own personal bias, but I'm so sick of how women are portrayed
Mhm.
in film these days with the whole uber masculine thing.
Mhm.
But seeing a girly girl in a dress fighting in a girly way was
It's
just
cool.
That was
It won
nice.
for
You
me.
Yeah,
saw
I have no problem
yourself
with
in
that.
her, didn't you, Jane? It's
Yeah.
okay to admit it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I
You
saw myself in
I
her.
would do
I-
cartwheels
Oh
to
wait,
fight
but that
bad
did
guys
not
too.
sound right.
Wow! Wow! Stop,
I didn't even
My
mean it that way.
God, yes, you did.
I was trying to
You
say like I feel like
fucking-
That's what she said.
I was trying.
so funny.
I was trying to make a joke like I'm a black woman inside, but it came off like porn.
Wow! Wow!
Dirty,
wow.
dirty Scott.
Wow. 200 Watt Studios for 2 being super sweet tonight. Says, I love Jane, but my heart only beats for
Aw.
Nina. Aw, you're too cute. Aw, here's a
That's a
turtle.
little.
I know that's what he came to see anyway. So
I thought that was culture for a second.
but yeah, so like next week, there's a possibility that we might be reviewing the House of Dragon on this channel.
No, I'm down.
Depending on how things go tonight,
Mhm.
and Jane telling us how everything went
Ugh,
with the first
I'm
season,
so scared.
it's very possible that next week I will be binging the entire show, and we're gonna be
Ooh.
reviewing
I think you should do it anyways, no matter how tonight goes.
Really? Like
Yeah.
even if it's shit, we should.
Yeah.
It's
do
just
it?
one of those things where it's had enough good stuff where it's like it's had its good and its bad, and last episode had its bad, but
Okay.
it's worth watching to see. I just
Where
think
it
it's a
goes.
moment.
It's
I think it's a
bad
moment,
is better than anything else.
right? and I
Okay,
think-
you know what? Fine, we're doing it. So I will
right.
be binging
Yep.
House of Dragons, and we will be reviewing it here next week.
yeah.
And with that, I think it's time that we all take our leave
Yep.
because we've discussed this movie, and you guys have to go watch that show.
Yes.
What the hell is
Yeah.
Nina wearing? It's a spider. Like, hello.
Oh man.
It's a British hat that I wear whenever I feel spidery. Anyways, whatever.
or she's going to the Derby.
Jane,
Yeah.
plug your channel before you go.
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube. I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify at Jane Theory.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Cool. You got
Yeah.
podcast on Spotify.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I got like 3 because of Jane.
Wow, really?
yeah.
Do you have to pay to be on
No,
Spotify?
no, we'll
No.
talk about it.
Okay, talk. Like we need to talk. Okay, great. Scott, plug your wares.
Yeah, I think now I just plug it as Sparky News Podcast on YouTube, Rumble, where sometimes more than often Jane shows up. So tomorrow night we have Jane on with us. We're doing House of the Dragon review, so come check us out 8:00 tomorrow night. But I do all the same stuff we do here, but I also focus a lot on A Song of Ice and Fire, and I really dig it. So please check out the channel.
Yeah, he's lame, but check him out anyway.
I am. I'm
He's
such a
lame,
dork
but-
in certain ways.
and
And I'm
also-
a grifter, I guess, too. I've been getting that a lot.
Also, make sure you sub to him on Rumble because YouTube fucked him over. So Rumble.
Yep.
Links are in the description. Makadama, thank you for the $10. Says I enjoy this panel. Well balanced. I tried to watch Rings of Power, but as a casual Tolkien fan, I love I think Lore or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. I have no idea what is going on. Many of today's writers write their feelings, not a story.
Nice.
That is
Well
very
said.
true, especially in terms of Rings of Power. Fucking She-Hulk, my God. Like, it's just what a mess.
That's the
What
worst
an
example.
absolute mess. Script Doctor, plug your wares.
Oh, sure. You can follow me on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD. I do have a YouTube channel and a Rumble channel at ScriptDoctor thing. Just Script Doctor. Just you can find me there.
The thing, huh? Okay.
Yeah, just whatever. Yeah, and so yeah, follow me on Twitter to see where I'll be. I usually retweet where I'm showing up, and also have interesting musings on Twitter here and there. And yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. This was a great discussion. I'm glad that there was something to talk about, like with regards to it being not terrible. So yeah, go see it.
It's middling, so that's a good recommendation at this
It's
point.
middling. It's not a waste of time, like not a complete waste of time anyway. So yeah, go see it. Go see it. And if you do, I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't blame me. I didn't make it. Whatever.
Don't blame you anyways, Nina.
Just lobby for Warner Brothers to hire me, because
Oh, there you go. Yeah, like do that so that we can get a good fucking decent Superman movie for once. Everybody, thank you for watching, and we will be back next time. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
There's my outro. I don't have. a
Thanks
fucking
for having
outro
us,
here.
Nina.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, here's my outro. This is my my message to Az from now on.
I tell you, that is not a female!
Well, she's close enough for me.
I guess I'm here to send out the bat signal.
A bat signal, for listeners who might not know, refers to the children's character, the Bat Man, a strong gentleman who fights crime nocturnally.
That's